Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Chris, and today we're going to be playing some Pioneer. This is a God-Pharaoh's Gift combo deck, utilising Refurbish to bring God-Pharaoh's Gift back from the graveyard on turn 4, and then God-Pharaoh's Gift combos with most of the creatures in the deck, basically. Uh, if you're unfamiliar with this card, basically every single turn at the beginning of combat you can reanimate a creature. And if you have Aurelia the War Leader, I believe you get an additional combat step. So you get to use it twice. Yeah, pretty busted. You've got some looting effects to fill the graveyard with both the God-Pharaoh's Gifts and the targets for it. You've got a little bit of utility, and I guess cards like Smuggler's Copter and Izzet Charm are both looting and utility. And then these are our sort of payoffs. I am not the creator of the deck. The deck was a deck in Standard, and I guess it's been slightly updated for Pioneer. Aurelia is a big pickup, and Jace as well. Otherwise, it's fairly close to its Standard counterpart. This deck was taken from MTG Goldfish. I've just changed the mana base slightly because I think the Port Town type lands are garbage, so I cut those for more shocks. The sideboard is a mixture of interaction for the most part, and then just a couple of additional threats in Lyra. And whilst it's by no means the primary plan, I guess a 4/4 Izzet Staticaster isn't the worst. It can block and ping and stuff. Although I guess you're primarily playing this against X1s like servo tokens or elves or something. Anyway, with that said, this is the deck, so we're going to play a Pioneer League with it and see how we get on. And any one of you who's viewed the channel before probably knows that I am a fairly vocal complainer about combo, so you're probably wondering why I'm playing combo now. And the only answer I can give you is that for some reason this deck doesn't offend me like some combo decks do. And a friend of mine asked me to play it, and that is as simple as that. We'll see if I feel dirty, if I come out of this like that scene in The Simpsons where Homer is rocking back and forth in the bathtub. I mean, this seems to be the type of hand we're looking for, right? We can ditch a God-Pharaoh's Gift, we just need to find a Refurbish, and we've got some card draw with which to do that. This seems to be the type of hand we were looking for. Quite redundant against discard as well. I suppose if they take the charter course, we're in a bit of trouble. But okay. Boris Guildgate. Is this like the Maze's End deck or something? Wow. Well, that was a good hit. Let's just cast this. We'll ditch the God-Pharaoh's Gift. Now all we need to do is hit land drops. If we hit one land drop, Champion of Wits should dig us to the other land drop, whilst simultaneously letting us discard Agent of Treachery or Reflector Mage. Yeah, this is some kind of a Maze's End pile. Can I get a land, please? No. Okay, go ahead. Disappointing thing is we don't have too much from our opponent's yards to reanimate, because I think you can get stuff from both yards, right? Oh, your graveyard, okay. Well, I'm just going to pass. This, I would say we've been a bit unlucky having drawn 1, 2, 3, 4 cards not to hit a land. I'm going to pass because I'd rather go to clean up. Circuitous route, yeah, makes sense. I feel like we're so close to just a ridiculously powerful turn or two, and it's quite frustrating being hamstrung a bit. Wow. I wonder if opponent knows how lucky they are. I'm just going to check, but I think this deck plays a sensible number of lands. 24, yeah, more than enough. With all the looting, you'd think that would be very safe. Well, the good news is it's only 4 zombies. Ha 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 ha. Make it 6. Alright. Well, that was thoroughly disappointing. I don't believe that is a true reflection of the deck. We're not very well set up to beat them. Detention spheres, I guess, and I'm wondering if I want this counter spells for circuitous route, or do we want to just not dilute what is a very good main deck plan? Treachery seems bad-ish. Maybe we just go with that. Oh, hang on. Maybe I want more payoffs if I'm not playing the treacheries. Yeah, we'll try that. I reckon we need the Lyras because if we're not playing the treacheries, we need some top end to reanimate of some kind. You can't just be making. I mean, to be fair, making a Champion of Wits is still very good. You still draw 4 and discard 2. For those who don't remember this card from Standard, when it enters the battlefield, you draw cards equal to its power and then discard 2. So normally when you make it as a 2-1, you draw 2 and discard 2. When you either... Is it called Embalm? Eternalize. When you either Eternalize it or bring it back with the God-Pharaoh's Gift, you draw 4 and discard 2, which is obviously more powerful, as well as having a relevant body. So it's very good. I would like to play first. Okay, we need a God-Pharaoh's Gift, but we have a bit of dig. We can make some land drops, crucially, and we know we're not under very much pressure. Maybe I should have played a league with this deck before I recorded, because I don't know if I have a very good handle on what the mulligans need to look like. We are... If we draw 1 God-Pharaoh's Gift, we are going off. Oh! This is a side to their deck we didn't see in Game 1. Pardon me. So they've either sideboarded into more of a fair game, or they were fairer than... Oh, that was a bad land drop. Oops. Or they were fairer than we thought all along. I hope I don't get punished for that land drop. I did not. That was fortunate. I'm wondering if I want to spend one more turn Champion of Witsing, setting up for an absolutely huge turn. This looks like a totally different deck compared to what we saw in Game 1. Oh, you fool. That makes my life much easier. I wonder if they realised from how quickly I blocked that was very good for me. So we refurbish the God-Pharaoh's gift first. We go to combat. Okay, they're just preserving their life total. That seems fine. Go to combat. Yeah, take this one. So we draw 4 and discard 2. Discard Champion of Wits and Alicia. And attack. And this feels powerful. This is what we were trying to do. And this should go very far over the top of what their deck can do. So this is their 5th different land name. So we've got a little ways to go for zombies, but they could turn it on this turn. That ley line is probably a little too late for them. It might not be. Okay. If that's their whole turn, we can cope just fine with that. Okay. Copter won't really matter. I guess I'm casting Charter Course, right? Just to see what happens. Okay, they got bored. Fair enough. Well, that went good. I see no reason to change anything. Do I want... Maybe now we know about things like trackers, I might want another Agent of Treachery. I don't think so. I think that felt like a decent configuration. Just stick with the main deck plus those detention spheres because we don't want to have to deal with 100 million zombies. I need to get my head around exactly. When it attacks, you pay 2. Return target creature with power 2 or less from the graveyard, tapped and attacking. So I can like bring back a Reflector Mage, bounce a thing to force through lethal or something like that. That must be the role she plays in the deck. I don't know much about Alicia. I wasn't really playing Magic when Cards was out, and whilst I appreciate that it's like an EDH all-star, I don't really play EDH either. I'm going to just take a mull. I think this is fine if I bin 1 detention sphere. That makes some sense to me. Or do I bin the... Nah. So opponent's on 6 as well as us. We don't have much of a combo situation going on, but the Champion of Wits is surprisingly good in just as a fair card. Just being able to improve your hand a lot. Feels good. Let's see what they get. Pardon me. Breeding pool. Okay. Odd. Odd, odd, odd. Maybe they've got a growth spiral to cast. That would make some sense. Go. The amount of times we've taken the first few turns off with this deck is concerning. But to be fair, it's a tiny sample size, isn't it? We've played 3 games now. Or two and a bit games. There's the breeding pool we know about. Okay, no circuitous route is good. If I could please draw a God-Pharaoh's gift, that would be a good one to discard. I did not. I will discard an Inspiring Vantage and a Hallowed Fountain, I think. See what opponent's got going on. Golos would be my guess. Hour of Promise. I assume they get a Field of the Dead and start that stuff. Well, I'm comforted by having the Detention Sphere. No Fields of the Dead. I can't particularly see anything other than just fixing their mana, maybe. Maybe they just needed black so that they could cast a Leyline of the Void. Which might make that refurbish terrible, but so be it, I guess. I'm going to play the Smuggler's Copter and pass, because if they don't play a Leyline of the Void, I want to be able to loot at the end of turn to try to, with the Izzet Charm, to try to set up for the next turn. But I'm assuming that they're going to cast a Leyline of the Void here. Black, black, yeah. Okay. We're playing a fair game of Magic. No shenanigans for us. I can Spell Pierce that. Do I want to? Probably. I have not much other use for Izzet Charm now. I guess it might tag a tracker, but the chances of them exposing a tracker are low. Refurbish is a dead card. That is something I'm conscious of. Okay. Just checking I'm not going to accidentally Reflect a Mage my own thing. Sorry, I've not used a vehicle online before. Pardon me. Let's see what opponent's got going on. I'm hoping they were just all in on that ley line and we can beat them with a fair game. Okay. That's a little bit troubling. Yeah. Well, we've got the Detention Sphere. I just need to be a bit patient, I think, and allow the zombie shenanigans for a little while, because I can't see me winning if I'm snagging like one. Yeah, I think I need to get like 5 zombies at once or something. Reflector Mage is kind of holding the actual 2/2s off. It's just everything else that we're going to struggle to beat. Are they going to block? You coward. Go ahead. The amount of dead cards we've seen as well is a bit alarming. Like, we haven't been drawing very well. We've just had tons of garbage to loot away. Which makes me grateful for the looter, at least. The copter. It's been very good this game. Zombie time. They just shocked. Have they got a Hydroid Crisis? Oh, Golos activations. Yeah, I should have detention sphered the Golos. That was wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I made a mistake. Please be bad. That's actually, like, only half terrible. The Grazer won't do anything because I don't think they have a land in their hand, unless they pick one off for the Once Upon a Time. So they just picked up a Field of the Dead, sure. Which they're going to play. Which is going to make more zombies. Which was the reason I didn't detention sphere that Golos was in my mind. This was a zombie wiping out thing. But maybe I did have to deal with the Golos in retrospect. Yeah, so we take 3, which I don't think matters. Then they presumably play backup Golos to get a 3rd field, I would assume, and make 3 more zombies. The problem is I've got to decide between 7 zombies and 1 Golos unless I draw a removal spell. They didn't get another field. The other option... No, it's too late for me to try and combo. Pardon me. I need to get lucky here. It's kind of close. We're still a mana off. I think I have to detention sphere all the zombies, play the land, and then hope that I can get another land and treachery the Golos next turn, and that their Golos hits are like 3 lands. That's my best option. This is by no means perfect. Yeah, that's done. So they've played a Guildgate for turn, which I guess is a decent draw. But if they now activate Golos into, like, mopey hits, pardon me, we've got like a tiny percentage chance. Okay, well that makes it harder. I think we're done. Yeah, you don't really beat Emrakul. They were just going way over the top. Well, bad start, but we did have one game where we got to do the things and fart out all the 4/4s. Yeah, let's see if we can do it twice in the same match. That would be good, wouldn't it? I'm not sure if I am making very good mulligan decisions. I think most of my decisions after the mulligans are probably at least adequate, but the I'm so bad at mulliganing with combo. It's unbelievable. Always have been. Like, in my mind, this hand is fine. We'll see how it plays out. Pardon me. Basically, we can ditch the God-Pharaoh's gift on 3, and we're guaranteed to draw a refurbish between now and then. That's how it works, right? It's a good draw. We can go Copter into Champion Crew Copter, and that just sees so many cards that the ridiculous claim I made about seeing a refurbish is actually maybe realistic. Okay, well, we're playing against Dirtly Control, so we should have a chance. I don't know why anyone would play those decks. They're rubbish. What a draw that is. Ooh. Narset's good against me. Detention's fit. You got it, boss. That does not matter. I'd be much more scared of Narset, which is in your graveyard. Go ahead. Please tap your lands. Ooh. Somebody needs blue mana. Oh. I still reckon most of the counter spells that would be good here are double blue. I'm going for it. No fear. That one. Give me that one. Do you have it? Please no, please no, please no, please no, please no. I feel like they'd have cast it if they had it. Woo! Well, it appears that our opponent is a coward. Once again, Reflector Mages look bad. Bring Lyras in, bring a Spell Pierce in, and some vetoes. And then it's a question of, do I want Needle for, like, as Canter? Probably. Treachery can steal Planeswalkers. They are at least making non-land permanents, unlike the previous matchup. I don't particularly like our odds of untapping with creatures. I think I'm going to cut all the Reflector Mages and the Thraben Inspectors. Oh, hang on, no, that makes my Smuggler's Copter so bad. Oh well, clicked it now. This hand is... tempting, is how I would describe it. But I think it's too bad. We've got no loot, and we've got no white mana. This is like... maybe it's basically the same hand, isn't it, if we take out one refurbish. But I have a piece of interaction, and I have all my colours. I'm going to risk it. It feels bad, though. It feels like a losing proposition. That is a bad draw. Okay, that is one I would have enjoyed Reflector Maging. Maybe opponent's cowardly early scoop was a wise move. The annoying thing is we're in a position now where we desperately need both a land and a loot. I guess Is It Charm would be the best possible draw. That's a good one to deal with. Yeah, we're in big trouble. That's kind of half of a problem solved. We need a land now, and then we are kind of good to go. Oh, not big to fairy. Please, not big to fairy. Dragon Lord Ancient. That's at least as bad, if not worse. I would love to draw 2 and discard 2. Discard God-Pharaoh's Gift and an Agent of Treachery, and be pissed off at that Inspiring Vantage stuck in my hand. That is a very unfortunate land to have picked up. There's no way they can... Wow. I was going to say, there's no way they can attack with Ojutai, because if I Agent of Treachery it, they're fucked. They must have a counterspell, that's the only explanation. Can I have that, please? I can. Go ahead. Maybe their plan is that if I get feisty and try and claim their Dragon Lord, they can flip Thing. It will just go back to their hand. Maybe I need to get rid of Thing as a consequence. Maybe I should steal the Thing. Because the Thing flipping is very good against me. And I don't have many ways of making it flip, so it would be pretty safe. Do I want to wait one more turn? Let's loot. Let's discard this Aurelia. Going for it. Yeah, that's not exactly a surprise. I think we're all but dead. Oh yeah, that'll do it. They're going to find a way to flip the Thing, and that's lethal, so there's not much point playing out. I decided I do want the Inspectors, and I probably want the Roast. Pithing Needle can go. I would like to play first, yes. Flippy Jace on the play. Got to be good enough. Nothing beats Flippy Jace. I know enough about Magic Origins Standard to know that. Nice spell snare, opponent. Ha ha ha. It's not in the format. Ha ha ha. Got him. As in, I've got Jace, not as in I've got Sergeant Welch. That's a little ways to go yet. Rest in peace. Wow. That makes things harder, if I'm completely honest. No, I might as well do this too. I was thinking about waiting, but... You can discard the extra one. Yeah, trying to win a fair game is going to be hard. I can't imagine we can beat a Rest in Peace in a million years. Didn't bring in the detention spheres, did I? Our plan now is to just hardcast bombs. It's not a terrible plan, and we do have some. Let's play this. I guess I'll crack the clue now to inform my loot. Go. Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, it's never going to transform. It's basically the same as them having a flippy Jace. Smuggler's Copter seems to be just about the best thing we could have drawn. It's like our best, most reasonable, fair plan. Go ahead. We can veto a Planeswalker if they try to Planeswalk. Like, not there. That's where we should be looking. I'm worried about thing flipping, but I'm hoping we can, like, treachery it or something. Oh, you can't veto that. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. I'm scared. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, we can cast an Aurelia next turn into an Agent of Treachery. I mean, that's not terrible. My hope is that they attack with Ojutai and we can steal it. You end up jumping through some real weird hoops playing this type of deck. What are you doing, opponent? Hang on, what are they... I think that's fine. I don't think that's actually good. What are they going to do? Take Flippy Jace. The Copter, fine. Doesn't bother me. We're way past that at this point, opponent. I'm interested in what's in the opponent's hand. I'm hoping one counterspell and they cast it on the Aurelia. That would be good. Oh, they're just desperate to get in a hit with this. So they just put the best card into their hand, basically, which is obviously very, very good. Okay, we're going to veto that. I'm torn between playing an Aurelia this turn, which kind of does nothing. It gets in for 6 and lets me loot again. Okay, that's worth it. Yeah, looting again, I think, tips me in favour of this plan. So we're just trying to make sure that we get to cast a... Not cast. Sorry. We're trying to make sure that we get to... Yeah, cut the 7th mana so that we can cast Agent of Treachery. Okay, tap your lands, tap your lands, tap your lands. I think that's fine. They presumably just minus on Aurelia. They're plussing, okay. Maybe they have a counterspell. That would be scary. Does leave me with a decision. Regarding what to Treachery if it resolves. Do I go for the Tefs or for the Ojutai? Well, it has to be Tefs now because Ojutai's hexproof. That's an unfortunate one. This is like a bait, I guess. Hopefully they have a counterspell and they use it. They do not. Yeah, I'll just discard those two, make a land drop. So I think they just held Ojutai to protect Tefs. Well, obviously, that's what they did. So I reckon we've got like less than 50% chance of resolving an Agent of Treachery, and we need it to resolve to win the game, so... Because they're going to go up to like 6 cards in hand right now. Okay, well, I don't mind them tapping stuff on their turn, but I do mind if they find like an absorb or something. Please, no counterspells. Okay, commit to memory's fine. That's not too scary. Well, it is, in that it kind of counters the first agent, but... Let's just start jamming. Commit to memory is super good with Narset, I just realised. Censor, okay. Cannot pay. Go ahead. I think we're losing badly here. That rest in peace has ruined my life. Was this game 2 or game 3? Can't remember. If they don't tap a ton of mana right now, we're just dead. If they're just patient. All they need to do is be patient. Yeah. Lyra's a good one. Yeah, we're done. They won the match, so that was game 3. I am not paying very much attention to such matters. Well, all I can say is we need to pull back some pride. Save the old ego. And the MTGO ticks, let's not forget those. Those don't grow on trees, do they? Them ticks need paying for. This is why I generally don't play combo. I am probably making a lot of mistakes. I'm also like I didn't even have busted hate cards on my radar, and I really should have, because, you know, it's constructed. That's how constructed works. Well, This is a good hand insofar as we've no idea what it is. And that's how hands with this deck tend to look, isn't it? Come on, Ricky P. You'll go. No! Don't Thoughtseize me. Okay. We've got excess lands to discard if we don't hit anything that actually wants to be in the graveyard, which we didn't. I will discard this Hallowed Fountain. Don't be Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Okay. That is quite a threatening card. But it doesn't stop us, at least. We are being allowed to do our thing. Come on, GPG. Come on. Get lucky. What do we hit? Okay, boom. Do I want a 4/4 Thraben Inspector next turn? It appears to be my only my only course of action is to make a 4/4 Thraben Inspector. Obviously the intention is to chump block, but they might not attack. They might be aware of what's coming. The Champion of Wits is pretty much the best thing I could reanimate. Especially given how gasless my hand is. Please don't Thoughtseize me. Okay. That's an unfortunate hit for the opponent. And they didn't take the Caryatid either. Oh yeah, I'm blocking. You better believe I'm blocking, Ricky. Haven't you seen how my deck works? Oh, this is the Chromantic Flayer thing. Okay, good. They have no lands. I'd like to go to combat, please. We draw 4. Is this thing legendary? It's not. We can make another one. How is it not legendary? I don't know if a Soul Flayer can deal 16. I suppose a Soul Flayer and a Giant Lotleth Troll might be able to deal 16. It's quite a scary thought. Hopefully they don't have a Soul Flayer in their hand. Well, they do now, assuming that, yeah, 5 card types. Yeah, they have Delirium. So they exile, like, this stuff. And it gets hexproof from that as well, I assume. I can't get hexproof. Okay, good. Oh, it does have hexproof. Okay, so we take 8, 13. Please don't kill me. Okay, Still not dead. Okay. Right. They gained a lot of life then, which isn't good. Can't believe you're allowed 2 of these fucking things. It seems ridiculous. Let's go to combat. I'll take a Reflector Mage. That seems good. Take an Inspector Thrabin. This is still, I'm still dead, but like, I'm having fun. Go ahead. If I block with everything, I still take 4, so there's not a lot to be done. Oh no. No, if I block with everything, I don't take damage. Okay. Oh, does it have flying? It has flying. Fuck me. Okay, well, that went poorly. Fucking flying. Fuck. Right. How do I beat that? Lyra? Maybe? First strike is good. Flying is good. Seems to be an answer of sorts. I have no graveyard hate because I have my own graveyard. And I guess the only playable white graveyard hate is just Rip, isn't it? And that's bad for me. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Let's try that. We're almost entirely Azorius now. Is this too slow? Probably. Oh, this looks better. Assuming we find a third land. I'm going to obviously put back 1 Aurelia. Go ahead. We're going to chart next turn and hope to get a bit lucky. They must have a Once Upon a Time in their hand. They keep having priority for some reason. A land. We hit a land. Yeah, go. We're kind of doing a thing. We need a refurbish, big time, but we're getting somewhere. Land was the first thing we had to hit, so we can cast Champion to find out other stuff. That was kind of annoying that we got run over by their best draw in the previous game, because we had a really good draw as well that would have beaten most things. Like, what we were doing was very powerful and very unfair, and what they were doing was even more powerful and even more unfair. Okay, that's hard to interact with, so I guess that happens. At least it doesn't represent a very quick death. Refurbish? Wow. Can't really complain about the way this game has gone, can I? That would be unreasonable, to say the least. We're going to make an Aurelia and a fucking huge Thraben Inspector this turn. Oh, pardon me. I assume they ditch all of it. That's a pretty shit hit. they did indeed ditch all of it. Okay, well, we're getting lucky. Luckier than them. Let's do our good thing and see if it's good enough. Go to combat. Give me that one. Yeah. Mush. Give me that one. Mush again. Aurelia's very good in this deck. I remember there was a time when they were playing Combat Celebrant in Standard as like a shit version. It was pretty good. Okay, I think we're winning. We have to... Okay. I wonder what they're looking for. I don't know what they can take there, because like there's a Talpa belongs in the graveyard. Maybe they just take a land or something. But I should probably just read the whatever it's called, the game log. Yeah, Overgrown Tomb, that makes some sense. F6, do what you want, opponent. They need to gain some life. That should be their first priority, I think. Okay. Double strike, flying, hexproof, indestructible, trample, vigilant. Okay, so depending on what we can hit, if we can hit more things with this. Ah. So I can't target either with either of my things. So let's think about this. So if I make just a random 4/4 and I attack, they have to trump block. I lose this, but I get another combat step. I think that's okay, yeah. I hope I've done this right. Take the land, that's pretty funny. I forgot you could take lands. So they're going to eat my Aurelia, I assume. Trump block. And then I'm going to get to go again on the Reflector Mage and win the game. Yeah, they do the thing they have to do. Okay. We win. Woo! I see no reason to change anything. Their deck is very consistent. We had to get quite lucky to win a game then, and we were on the play. This hand is bad. I think. Looks bad to me. This hand is good, question mark. We get to do a lot of looting from turn 3 onwards. Very little before that. Hopefully they don't have like a super powerful opener. Okay, well, just pass. That's the type of thing we can keep pace with. I wish they weren't giving their fucking Soulflare hexproof. It makes it much harder because we can't just reflect a mage it or steal it. I guess that's the reason to play the Caryatids, to be fair. It's just good deck building. Hard to be salty about that. There's one. Okay. Go ahead. Well, it's just a clock. You know what I mean? Like it's a serious clock, but we're so good at like producing 4/4s when we get going. We should be able to compete. It does massively disincentivize me from flipping Jace. Let's go for one of these. It's a shame we can't chump block with it. If we hit a God-Pharaoh's gift now, we are so well set up. It's unbelievable. We've got a couple of looks, actually, even if we miss now. We've got 2 more looks with 2 Jace loots. Yes, please. I will indeed discard. I'm going to keep the Agent of Treachery a secret. I don't know what I'm most afraid of other than like Grizzly salvage perfect stuff into Soulflare would be pretty awful for me. Okay, they're not doing anything pre-combat, which is very comforting. Can't block, take 4, don't care. Please just pass, you absolute beauty. Slightly upgraded our land. Ooh, powerful magic. That's a good one, isn't it? Please don't have Assassin's Trophy. I bet they're holding up an Assassin's Trophy. Can I get a combat, please? Wow. Okay. Give me that. And I'll take that. I just realised there was a better line. If I attack with... If I ditch Aurelia and then attack, I can untap my Jace, ditch the agent, and then steal the questing beast after and make an even bigger attack. Would that have been lethal? Not sure. Can you beat this opponent, is the question. Please just concede. Okay. I wonder what they've got going on. I assume they're dead, unless they have several removals. Okay, they don't. Good. Huzzah! We won a match! Nice. I will be right back. Okay, match 4. We finally got one on the board, and it was disgusting, busted, and very consistent. Maybe it's just that I've been learning to play the deck in the first few rounds, I don't know. And obviously now I'm playing it to perfection, and I'm the world's leading authority on Jeskai GPG. So, you know, any of you MPL members want some tips, just holler at your boy. Can't really say that when you're from England, can you? Please send me a letter. I'll be happy to respond. That's the English equivalent. Yeah. God, that's a lot of arrogance after one win, isn't it? Fucking hell. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Chris. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Try and get 2 wins. Double our quota. If I can get a 3 and 2 out of this, I'll be delighted. So I get my play points back. That's about the best you can hope for. For those who don't play MTGO, if you go 3 and 2, it's kind of cost you nothing. So you're sort of satisfied with that. Come on, software. Find me a friend. Nice. Let's go. I need some kind of an uninteractive, slow, fair deck. Is that too much to ask? The sort of thing that I would play. I guess we keep this. It's got a lot of loot. Woohoo! Sultai food. In every format. No. Pardon me. It is like cold and flu season in the UK at the moment, so everyone's a little bit sick. Not okay, not okay, not okay. Okay. I'm trying to decide whether I can be bothered to play fair cards or if I just want to try and combo. That's a pretty good one. Like, do I play Jace or do I chart? I guess I Jace. Does it represent more cards over a couple turns? Yeah, that kind of makes some sense to me. Copter may have been good though because it's a little bit of damage as well as some looting, but pretty reasonable reaction. That was an argument to chart, wasn't it? Oh dear, not another 2-drop. Okay. So they're just preserving their food. I presume they get an island, yeah. We take some damages. Now I have to decide between denying them cards and denying them mana when I reflect a mage one of their things. If indeed that's what I'm supposed to do, or am I supposed to champion? This is hard. Like, a big part of me wants to just bounce that glint sleeve siphoner to keep them off cards. But we're a combo deck, right? So presumably the best thing we can be doing is our combo. I think that's how Magic works. We're very far away very far away from comboing, I should say. What's the scariest thing we could see here? I don't know. None of their planeswalkers really matter. Like, turning this into an elk won't bother me. Killing it with a Vraska won't bother me. Even killing it with a Lily Last Hope won't really bother me. I guess just a really big threat like a Grimflare or a bristling Hydra, that might bother me. That's a hard thing to kill. That's a serious clock as well. But it can be chump blocked. A goose. Gains hexproof, so there's no point trying to bounce it. Can I get a GPG and a refurbish somehow? That's half of it. Yeah, we're not really doing all the things, are we? I suppose I get to loot with the copter next turn, but we're about to take 4. We're about to take 6 at least. I assume just 6 because they're not. They'd be mad to cash in the Hydra for a. Yeah. They'd be mad to cash in the Hydra just for like 1 extra damage, as in to cash in their 3 of their energy. Okay, pretty scary. So they've basically just presented the best clock they can, and we haven't had a very fast combo draw. Pew pew. Let's bounce that, as it's the only thing we logically should bounce. So we have to wait, crew the copter, block with it, and hope that we get to exactly draw and discard a God-Pharaoh's gift. This is not going very well. So attack for 8. Yeah, I think I'm still looting. So we're going to block a Hydra, which does force them to spend some energy. It'd be nice if they spent so much energy they couldn't make 1 hexproof and then we could steal it. Okay, not good. Another thing that works for me, honestly, is just a land, so I can start casting my whoppers. Yeah, that's hexproof. We take 4. Untap land. That isn't it. That is not it. It's a chum blocker, though. Could be worse. Okay. We're like just about hanging on. And we might get to a point soon where we get to really swing the game with some big things. Okay, yeah, food doesn't matter. And food still doesn't matter. They're just gaining 3 life. Yeah, that's fine. So their hand contains one glint sleeve siphoner at least. Okay, this is to try to bait them into using energy, going down to 2, and then if they don't happen to have like one of the 1,000 ways their deck contains to gain an energy, we might get to steal a Hydra. So they make 1 when that enters, which is convenient because they now can do a thing. Okay, yeah, we're dead. We're dead. I think. Thank you, deck, for that one. That was a treat. Okay. We were quite in that, considering what a fucking fiasco it was. Do I want some removal? Is basically the only thing I'm considering. And maybe some Lyras because they block really well. And they're like a reasonable thing to cast. Jace just feels like it's going to die. I'm going to play some removal. Set up like that. It feels to me like they've got Abrupt Decays, they've got potentially trophies and pushes. Jace is like never ever going to loot. Let's go. This is a bold opening gambit. I have no fear. I'm sure this hand is terrible, but it gets to put a God-Pharaoh's Gift in the graveyard, which is like all we care about. Yeah, you can have a goose. Question is, if we draw a Magma Spray, would I rather kill the goose? I think I'd rather just progress our plan. Okay, so we discard 2 of these. Oh, we only have to discard 1 card. Sure. And then I've got a decision to make about Magma Spray. I think if they play a Glint Sleeve Siphoner, I will Magma Spray it. A tune, sure. I think we can reasonably assume they don't have too many lands in hand then. Which does make killing the goose very appealing. Yeah, I think now I have to kill that. Because that will also solve their mana screw by drawing them cards. Go ahead. I don't think casting Alicia does enough for me. It's not like we've got anything in the graveyard to bring back. Okay. Yeah. So they're just... They've got like pseudo lands in hand rather than actual lands. Yeah, I think they're just passing and making a food, and I think that's fine. Okay. I mean, we're just casting our random legendary stuff to reanimate now, and it might even be good enough. Although I'm certain their deck contains Okos, and getting your Lyra elked will feel bad. No! No! This is bad for me. I mean, they're fucked if we top deck Refurbish, but what are the chances of that? There he is, the bastard. Yeah. You ruined everything I love, you dick. Wow. Okay, well, better lucky than good, as Pleasant Kenobi would say. If you don't know who that is, very good YouTube Magic player. I recommend his channel very much. Very entertaining content. So yeah, we're going to go to combat. We will... Give me that one. Let's lay down some savage beats, yo. And then sit here feeling smug because our stuff is zombie instead of an elk. And zombies trump elks. I've seen enough bad films to know that. It's going to be quite hard for them to attack through like all of our first strike and some life gain and whatnot. We're just desperate. We need a loot off the top, basically. If we can get a loot, or I guess the best possible draw would be like a champion of wits or something. But yeah, any loot effect would be amazing. Okay, so they're just sort of playing the cards that they've got, and that's sort of all they can do. Wow. I deserved that, honestly. I definitely did. Creatures? If I could see some creatures, please. This is a joke. What are we waiting for? Fuzzy. Oh, they've read my cards and conceded. Yeah. Good. That felt better. Although we did get disgustingly lucky on about 4 or 5 consecutive draw steps were like just running perfect. So, like, what the fuck can the opponent do about that? The cast Thoughtseize left me with nothing. 3 turns later, I've got every card I could have asked for in order. Woo! It's good to be Chris some days. This is a passable hand. Now all we need is Refurbish. It's also a very good hand against Thoughtseize. Yeah, fucking go for it. What do you want to do? Put my God-Pharaoh's gift in the graveyard, or my Champion of Wits, or my Alicia, all of whom belong there. I'd like to have the opportunity to cast one of the champions from hand, but eternalizing it in long games is still fine. And this might be a longer game because they haven't got a goose. This is a nightmare of a Thoughtseize for the opponent. Maybe you just take Alicia? What? Okay, maybe they have a Scavenging Ooze. It's not funny. It's just to say that I've been lucky is an understatement. Please no scoos, please no scoos. It's a scoos. This isn't great. Go ahead. Now their decision makes sense. Okay. So they just can never ever tap out. the face of the scoos, I'd rather just attack with this, I think. So they just eat my GPG, which I think is okay, because it doesn't grow the ooze, and I've still got 2 magma sprays in my deck. If we just top deck like a Reflector Mage or something, then we're good to go, aren't we? They eventually have to cast some spells. Not an Abrupt Decay on my Alicia, please. Also not that. That's a good one. We're not pleased to see that. Okay, well, we can at least nugget for 3. What? This is so good. Okay, so we can now begin to build our normal game plan. We can... okay, yeah, you have a 3/3 that chumps my Alicia. Is that all they've got going on? That's crazy. No, they must have something to play post-combat. I do not care about taking 3 anyway. That's fine. I need to remember to leave up double white. Let's see if I can do this right. That one. Bounce that. So Oko dies, hopefully. Unless they've got like an Aether Gust or something. Yeah, bitch. Go. This is great. This is so good. When the deck works, it feels amazing. And this is like the secondary plan, isn't it? This isn't even plan A. This is plan something. Okay. I think I accept. I don't think they attack. You don't really want to trade 3 against 4, do you? No. Lol. Let's see. Yeah, we're just discarding these excess lands, aren't we? Let's be real. And we're passing. Ah, counterspell. Go ahead. That's actually quite good. Yeah, that's fine. We knew about that. So that is going to draw them a lot of cards. But I don't think I care. I think our hand is quite good. Not our hand, like our position. If they attack, I will double block with both champions for sure. That's quite good. I will Necrotal their food. Actually, Necrotal can't kill food, so it's better than Necrotal. Bash them. This has been a funny old game. Okay. Back up Oko. With a food. They should attack. That Oko is literally just gain 9 life. That's all it does. Unless they have a creature to play post. I'm not allowed to block, am I? Because they have Menace. Okay. I could decide to ignore the Oko, but I think if you can't win the game, you kind of want to go after the Planeswalker more often than not. And the reason for not only sending 3 at the Oko was I wanted to be able to beat 1 removal spell, like Aether Gust or whatever. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Might not be good enough though. Like, I'm not even sure they can attack anymore. Fine. You just cost yourself 2 life, mate. An attack would seem bold. If they attack, they can't beat the removal, can they? Oh, they can because of food. Okay. Sure. So, nobody's got anything going on, basically. Unfortunately, we don't have any creatures to Alicia. Fortunately, we're winning anyway. Oh, they've got a tough choice. Do they want to trade off? They do not want to trade off. Yep, you gain 3. You get a 2. Go ahead. And then they go to 1, presumably. Can't imagine a world in which they don't go to 1 looking for stuff. Nice. We're making a comeback. The 3-2 dream is alive, as they say. Ugh. Sorry about the yawn. I hope at least you guys aren't yawning at me being boring. Yeah. I've got to thank my friend Massimo for recommending this deck, because I am having fun. As much as I loathe combo. I did get to play with God-Pharaoh's Gift once in Standard, because I was playing Nicol Bolas. Was it called God-Pharaoh? The big, 8 mana one? and I did the thing where you plus it and you get to cast a card, and I hard cast my opponent's God-Pharaoh's gift and just completely went off and did a million things. This looks like a good hand to me. Go. I think our opponent ran out of characters when they were doing their Magic Online name. I think they probably want that to read as Sculptor, not Sculptor. Either way, the only Django I know is the one from Django Unchained, and he doesn't sculpt reality, so I'm confused. He just kind of bucks oppression, which is, I'm all for that, you know. Let's treat people like people. We just got to go for the nut draw, haven't we? I was thinking about fucking around with casting these two cards, but let's just do this. Okay. Unfortunately, we are not doing a very good job of finding God-Pharaoh's gifts. Fortunately, our opponent is slow. Let's do some attacking. Then we can get full value from the charter course. And obviously this is where I hit the God-Pharaoh's gift and I regret it enormously. I'm going to play the... No. Plus no counter. Nice. Oh, if this gets censored, I'm going to feel like a mug. No. It's probably going to get killed in that case. Yep. It got killed in that case. Good news is we're doing a reasonable job of finding all of our stuff. I just need a loot effect. Well, I've got one in hand. I just need to get to use it. Let's attack them. I am anticipating that their turn is... They're obviously holding up counter magic. I suspect they might play something like Hieroglyphic Illuminations or something. In my end step. Or like a Glimmer of Genius or something. Glimmer is a good card, man. Maybe I should be playing that in some of my control decks. We had... So where I live, there's a... wow. Total Jace prejudice. Coming from a guy called Django as well, you'd think he'd be a little less Jacist. In my local area, there is a Pioneer League, and yesterday we played like 5-6 rounds. It was great. I played the Grixis Pile from the previous video, and it was glorious, and I cast an unbelievable amount of Into the Stories. I drew so many cards yesterday. I'm only playing one copy, and I drew it like all night, and it was always great. I mean, you take the refurbish because everything else belongs in the graveyard, opponent. If you don't take the refurbish, you're a goon. Maybe they're just reading the cards because they weren't playing standard then and they don't know how the deck works or something. What? Okay, suit yourself. Maybe they've decided they're just going to counter the refurbish. Come on, you sausage. Maybe they're playing a planeswalker because they feel safe. Devoid flying 6/6. When it ETBs, exile all cards from your library face down. Then your graveyard becomes your library. So they have 4 turns to kill me, is what's just happened. If I've understood correctly. Okay. Reflector Mage. Hilarious. Nice pro move opponent. That was funny. They have every right to be peed off about that. That was unbelievable. I wonder if they've realised yet that they can't race their own draw step. It just dawned on them. Fucking hell, that was funny. What do we want against blue-black pile? Let's make that swap. I just literally want a flying body in case it comes to the exact scenario we were just in. Yeah, this looks fine. That was fucking wonderful. Can I get a Reflective Mage, please, deck? Yes, Chris, you can. Oh, Django, I'm sorry. I like the way you die, boy. For those who haven't seen it, that was a reference to the Django movie. It's very good. It's one of my favourite Tarantinos. You should just watch most of his films. He's generally not shit. But you should never watch his interviews because he is a shit. He's a massive shit. We're just gonna do the thing. You should let this resolve, opponent. Don't counter that. Please. Please don't counter that. Oh, fuck me. That's sad. But opponent, I needed to discard my God-Pharaoh's gift. How rude. How rude. Best top deck would be Thraben Inspector, or because then we can double spell, or Champion of Wits, so we can discard. Man, Mystical Dispute hoses this deck. Well, I can't argue with the quality of my top decks. They have been above par. Okay, refurbish. Come on. Just to continue the trend. No. We can get the copter going. We can... I wonder if opponent's a bit short on gas. We can get the copter going. We can start nugging the opponent for small amounts of damages. Or we could do that. I actually don't have anything to reanimate yet, so let's nug them. You got it. Not particularly worried about that resolving. Oh, please use a removal on champion. That would be amazing. Yes. Yes. Do it. How many counter spells do they have? Tap, out, cast a spell, cast a spell, cast a spell. Come on, Django. Oh, you fucking legend. Right, so the only thing I can think of is Mystical Dispute, Spell Pierce, or Censor. We cannot beat Spell Pierce, but we can beat the others. I'm fucking going for it. Go on, 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 go on. Bastard. Bastard. So unfair. Well, I don't mind getting two'd by a Murderous Rider. We're only one land away from having access to this and this. And I think, honestly, that is probably like as good of a late game as they've got. Yeah, you got it. Do you know what's quite funny is stealing that? That would be pretty funny, don't you think? Red, 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 whatever stuff. They have got 6 turns to kill me. I'm definitely taking the 6 the first time, because we've got a couple draw steps to get our 7th land and really go nuts. I just think this card is shit, honestly. What were they thinking? Is using it as like the centerpiece for their deck. Let's see if this works. If this works, this is too fucking funny. Because obviously they've paid the massive downside and we get the massive 6/6. What do you make of that, opponent? Is that alright? Please? I think they're deciding between scooping and playing it out. I'll go for that one, please. Maybe they have a Tyrant Scorn and they're going to bounce it. Fine. Now you can't cast your spell. I'm just going to hit you twice with this. This deck is brilliant. I don't know why I ever had any reservations. We're going to make a giant Champion of Wits next turn. Opponent's got fuck all going on. Their last card in hand is an absolute fart. They have... If they cast it, they go down to 1 card in library. What are they thinking? How is this going to work? This is amongst the most I've ever enjoyed a game of Magic the Gathering. Just because I've been... Fine, let's just do that. This is like the luckiest anyone has ever been. If I was opponent, I would be fuming at this. What a top deck when you've got 7 lands. Your opponent's got a blocker. It's not quite lethal, though. Ah, well. What can I say? That was a fucking good giggle. I hope you enjoyed the games. I really, really did. This is the deck. So, yeah, what can I say? Not my creation, but I'm impressed with it. It's funny as fuck. I'm sure it's not the perfect list. All these random 2s, maybe it should be... Like with combo, you generally want to figure out the best pieces and then play like fours of everything, don't you? But it did feel good. Felt good. We felt like we were soft as hell to that Soul Flayer thing, and we were lucky to beat it. That's the only gripe I would have, is I didn't feel like we had a way to compete with that post-side. But all in all, that was a giggle, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you guys again. Cheers.